mania. The difference being that, unlike Coleridge, Austen could find no way of getting the scribble into print until the last few years of her life. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Northanger Abbey were all fully drafted before 1800, but didn't see publication until 1811, 1813, and 1817 respectively. Mansfield Park came out in 1814, and Emma in 1815. Persuasion was posthumously published in 1817 in a set with Northanger Abbey. There's something uniquely eloquent about the walnut table. Perhaps its small size, a fitting match to the miniaturist perfection of Austen's art. The little bit, 2 inches wide, of ivory on which I work with so fine a brush as produces little effect after much labour, as she says in a late letter, 17 December 1816. Materially, the table seems to embody the glimpses we get in family memoirs of Austen intently, creatively at work amidst bustling sociable environments. She had no separate study of her own, the sine qua non for Virginia Woolf of female authorship, and wrote in the general sitting-room, subject to all kinds of casual interruptions. She used small sheets of paper that could be quickly tucked away when strangers called, or hidden under blotting paper, a nephew says. She'd sit by the fire with her needlework, a niece recalls, saying nothing for a good while, and then would suddenly burst out laughing, jump up and run across the room to a table where pens and paper were lying, write something down, and then come back to the fire and go on quietly working as before. In Winchester, aged 41, she kept on writing, whilst she could hold a pen, and with a pencil when a pen was become too laborious, her brother Henry reports. She was still writing just days before she died. Then there are the manuscripts. The cult of the autograph was in its infancy when Austen's publishing career began, and the manuscripts of mere novels, a genre that had not yet achieved its Victorian prestige, were typically discarded or destroyed. Almost certainly, someone used the holograph manuscript of Pride and Prejudice, now among the world's most cherished novels, for waste paper or to light fires. Of the 6 completed novels, all we have in Austen's hand is a shortish section of Persuasion, which survives only because she rewrote and replaced it in the version sent to the printer. That said, we do have a good number of letters, 161, though no doubt Austen wrote thousands, alongside shorter fictional works that were published long after her death. There are the teenage writings she produced at Steventon for family entertainment, and then transcribed into notebook volumes that playfully, though also rather longingly, mimic print conventions. There are intermediate works, such as her epistolary tale, Lady Susan, circa 1794, her parodic Plan of a Novel, circa 1816, and her unfinished draft, The Watsons, 1804, a story thought to have been abandoned because its themes of socio-economic precarity and downward mobility was suddenly too close to the bone when her father, the Reverend George Austen, died in 1805. Finally, there's the bold, energetic scrawl of Sanditon, the novel Austen began in the year of her death, heavily marked with deletions and substitutions that show just how strenuously she worked to achieve her signature effect of spontaneous lightness. In a much earlier letter to Cassandra, Austen apologizes for her sprawling hand, 22 January 1801, though stylistically her writing does anything but sprawl. Is there also frustration to be detected in the Sanditon hand, a sense of having broken into print too late, and of time now running out? Today, Austen is one of the most securely established literary classics in English, and alongside Shakespeare, perhaps the only pre-Victorian author who still finds a mass audience, globally as well as at home. It's easy to forget how hard she found it to break into print following the rejection of First Impressions, the original version of Pride and Prejudice, in 1797, and then, in 1803, her sale of Susan, which became Northanger Abbey, to a publisher who then simply shelved it. By the same token, it's easy to underestimate the adjustments and no doubt the compromises that Austen must have made in order to align her writing with the